It's 6:30. Good morning, I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. Police are appealing for help to identify a man who approached a young girl at Wallsend. The 12-year-old was walking to school along Tyrrell Street at about 8 yesterday morning when a black Toyota Prado began following her. Lee Wannon from Police Headquarters says the girl walked into the front yard of a nearby home in a bid to evade the vehicle, but the man drove into the driveway before reversing and driving off.
The driver of the Toyota is described as being of Caucasian appearance, aged in his 40s, short dark hair, a moustache and wearing reading-style glasses. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
A police rescue unit from Newcastle has been forced to make the long trip to the state's northwest to deal with anti-mining protesters. The Telegraph reports resources are being stretched thin as officers head to Maules Creek to remove activists who are locking themselves to machinery and climbing trees. 25 protesters have been arrested in the past week. Politicians are wary Hunter residents may be disillusioned by last year's political donation scandal. After ICAC exposed developer Jeff McCloy handing out cash to ex-Newcastle MP Tim Owen and former Charlestown MP Andrew Cornwall, candidates in this year's election have felt compelled to reassure the community they can be trusted. Liberal candidate for Newcastle, Karen Howard, is hoping her actions during last year's by-election have demonstrated her transparency when it comes to political donations.
I ran an independent campaign in October that's been independently audited, pardon the pun. We've received a clean slate, and I'm very much looking forward to the 28th of March.
Designated swimming, boating and jet ski zones will be created at a popular Port Stephens beach following a serious accident last month. Council investigates setting up the separate zones along Fly Point Beach to ensure boats and jet skis don't get too close to swimmers. It comes after a 14-year-old boy was injured in a jet ski accident near Nelson Head. Cessnock Council is holding a coal seam gas forum tomorrow to address community concerns surrounding the industry. The forum will detail coal seam gas developments planned for the area and explain protections afforded to surrounding residents under legislation. Council's Principal Natural Environment Planner, Ian Turnbull, says a range of guest speakers will attend.
We've got a speaker from New South Wales Trade and Investment who partially regulate coal seam gas and also are the authors of the New South Wales Gas Plan. We have an independent university professor from the University of Newcastle. We have a resident from the Wallumbilla Valley who's going to give a community perspective, and we've got AGL coming.
Recent reports of attacks on livestock by wild dogs in the Port Stephens Shire has prompted local land services to conduct a workshop on controlling feral animals. The free workshop is being held tomorrow from 5:30 p.m. at Barooby Point Surf Life Saving Club. Lower Hunter District Coordinator Ingrid Berthold says the workshop will train landholders on the correct use of pesticides to control wild dogs, foxes and rabbits, which can pose a threat to livestock, native wildlife and crops.
So the workshop on Thursday night at 5:30 at Barooby Surf Club is to be able to accredit people that have properties with the ability to use the 1080 and Pindone poison products.
To register, call 4938 4930. Now with sport, Belinda De La Ceres.
Newcastle Jets coach Phil Stubbins insists he has big plans for Serbian Enver Livadic as preparations ramp up for Saturday's F3 derby against the Mariners. The 30-year-old's expected to ink a short-term deal with the club later today, pending international transfer clearance, before being rushed onto the right wing to replace a suspended Andrew Hoole. Meanwhile, rookie Alan Welsh is tipped to slide into defence for Ben Kantarovski, who's also serving out a suspension. A lack of player support has been blamed for Port Stephens' exit from the Newcastle Rugby League. The Sharks already had around 40 players registered for first grade, reserves, open age and under-19s, but needed about double the amount to remain viable. The withdrawal ends 25 years of top-tier competition in the area. And it's set to be a massive day in cricket as New South Wales prepares to face WA in today's Sheffield Shield clash at Newcastle's #1 sports ground. That's sport. I'm Belinda De La Ceres.
To NURFM News Time 26 to 7.